Hello, everyone. Welcome to Real Talk on the Road here. We're live at Rider University for tonight's gubernatorial primary debate for the Democrat Party here in New Jersey. 6 very interesting candidates, which included NGA President Sean Spiller, Newark Mayor Ross Baraka, Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop, former Senate President Steve Sweeney, representatives in the House, both Mikey Sherrill and Josh Gottheimer, along with Newark Mayor Ross Baraka. I gotta tell you, folks, just looking at my notes here, and again, if you're just joining us right now, it takes 2 seconds. Like, comment, and share. If you're joining us live right here on Facebook Live via StreamYard, also on the Jersey First YouTube page. And I gotta tell you, folks, it was a capacity crowd here in the auditorium at Rider University, and obviously a great panel tonight, certainly with the New Jersey Globe and NJONN. And I gotta tell you, folks, the questions were hot, and believe it or not, what I really liked, though, was the stability among the 6 candidates, which usually you might not get when it's 6 people on stage. Again, you know me, I'm a big WWE fan. What comes to mind, obviously, these big battle royals, 6 people in a ring, and it doesn't always, come out to be very pretty, but that wasn't the case here. A lot of stability. Obviously, the ladies and gentlemen on stage were able to address each other respectfully and dissect policy, and also, I think, kind of look at what's going on right now in New Jersey, right? After almost 8 years of Phil Murphy. I've talked about it on my show, which, by the way, folks, every Monday night live on Jersey First TV, of course, via YouTube, as well as on Twitter Live. Also on Facebook Live via StreamYard. You can check it out every Monday night, of course. And I'll have a lot to say during tomorrow night's episode, by the way, folks. 6 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll have NJCU Interim President Andres Acebo on the program tomorrow. And we'll certainly dissect everything that's going on in higher education. But first tonight here at Rider University, the Democrats were up first during this gubernatorial primary season. And I got to just tell you, I was impressed with all 6 candidates. I was texting throughout the debate itself. People were telling me and reaching out and saying, Fernando, what do you think? What do you think? And I got to tell you, I was very, very impressed with all of them. I think they all brought their A game. I got to tell you right now, again, being an educator and someone that works in higher education and obviously education for a very, very long time, I'm all about giving grades. So I really did like that aspect of the moderators tonight, whether it was Joey Fox, whether it was David Wildstein, whether it was Micah Rasmussen, right? Laura Loomer as well. Like, it was an amazing panel, and they came with all the great questions. And I got to tell you, one of the early parts here, I'm just sort of looking at my notes here after opening statements, was grading Phil Murphy. And it was interesting. A lot of them kind of gave him B's and C's. I think just sort of noteworthy here, obviously, Representatives Sherrill and Gottheimer both graded Phil Murphy with a B. I believe Steve Sweeney gave the governor a C. Mayor Stephen Fulop also gave him a B, and as well as Mayor Ross Baraka, and along with NGA President Sean Spiller, but he did give him a C. So it was interesting how they all sort of looked at Phil Murphy's performance for the last 8 years. And listen, I've been one of these journalists in New Jersey that have been talking about it incessantly. The highest property taxes in the country. We're seeing the gas tax go up recently. I mean, yes, folks, gas is going down, but we're paying over 50 cents a gallon more because of the gas tax. We've seen tolls on both the Garden State Parkway and the New Jersey Turnpike go up in recent months. So, I mean, the next governor has a lot of work to do. And we're seeing it now during budget season. The legislature, obviously working on Phil Murphy's last budget, is being asked to tighten their belts a little bit to sort of cut costs, freeze, employment at the state level. So it's going to be very interesting. But again, just looking at some notes here, one of the things that really, I think, stood out here between the candidates, obviously, Representative Sherrill talked about the importance of funding the pensions, which Phil Murphy did, as well as, one big word during this, debate tonight was about affordability. And obviously Representative Gottheimer was very big on that, as well as former Senate President Steve Sweeney. Mayors Baraka and Fulop collectively talked about the failures of New Jersey Transit. More on that later, since that was discussed. And certainly, Sean Spiller talked about affordability as well. Sort of just going through this, folks, I mean, it was interesting about the discussion about reproductive rights. And to me, I sort of looked at it as, well, it's already codified into state law. So what exactly are we going to really address for the next governor? Is it, we talk about constitutional amendment about reproductive rights, about access to abortion? I mean, here in New Jersey, it's codified, in some cases up until the 9th month. So some of the candidates, I think, kind of, in my opinion, again, being Democrats, I know they have a loyal base. They have to cater to the base and make sure that they represent that demographic. But I'm not sure exactly if, once again, with the highest property taxes in the country, with tolls going up again, the gas tax going up again, spending is still at an all-time high, if codifying reproductive rights is sort of the biggest thing on the agenda right now. It really isn't, I think. I think we learned that during the recent presidential election, right? I mean, obviously, Republicans won back the Senate, they kept control of the House, and they won the presidency. So I think that, New Jersey is very much like the rest of the country, looked at common everyday kitchen table issues, and maybe reproductive rights isn't going to be one of them. Let's go off with some other things here. Obviously, I know my time is limited here on campus. I'll be closing up shortly. Looking at the funding of state pensions. Obviously, Phil Murphy and the current legislature fulfilled the promise about funding the state pensions. I know as a state employee, that's important to me, right? Obviously, all of the candidates on stage said yes, they will continue to fund the pensions. This is where it got a little interesting here. Obviously, we know that New Jersey, under Phil Murphy in January of 2018, declared New Jersey a sanctuary state. Now, it hasn't been codified yet into law. And I would argue, in this journalist's humble opinion, I think that's the last thing we should be worried about right now. We know that all 6 Democrats on stage tonight had a very clear message to President Trump about how they feel about, protecting illegals here in New Jersey. Whether or not that includes codifying New Jersey as a sanctuary state, that remains to be seen, obviously. But all of them, obviously, I mean, there's a common theme throughout the evening, sort of denouncing President Trump when it comes to how these ICE raids have gone on, even so much as going after Representative Gottheimer for defending his vote on the Laken-Riley Act, which, again, folks, when you look at the Laken-Riley Act on its face value, it's a good bill. And I get it that this has become politicized. Obviously, it's been very, very partisan along party lines. But, folks, the Laken-Riley Act was necessary. What we saw the last 4 years under a Joe Biden, Kamala Harris administration was a wide open border where, we had illegals running around the country in various cities, not being held accountable. And that's not the case anymore. Now, again, we saw a mandate come, last November. We saw a mandate where Donald Trump didn't just fall back into the presidency. There was a mandate. He won the popular vote decisively. He won the Electoral College decisively. He swept all the swing states decisively. Okay, so there's a mandate here about making sure that our borders closed, that we are vetting immigrants the right way. Listen, folks, I'm the son of immigrants. I get it. All right. But if you're here illegally in this country and you are committing heinous crimes, which again is the premise of the Laken-Riley Act. Okay. And I say it all the time through journalists in New Jersey that somehow seem to keep coddling illegals. It's not about undocumented migrants. If you are a criminal in this country, you have to get deported. That is essentially the Laken-Riley Act. And I think that a lot of the Democrats here on stage, I think we were looking at sort of, there was sort of a common theme, again, denouncing President Trump, for example, Representative Schill talked about border security as well as Representative Gottheimer. We also saw about, former Senate President Steve Sweeney certainly felt very comfortable going after the president in terms of, whether or not these raids are humane. They've been going on lately. And folks, let's be honest, and credit to Steve Sweeney for saying sort of the uncomfortable part out loud. During the 8 years of Barack Obama, he deported more illegals than anyone in recent history, more than the 16 years of Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, and even more than Joe Biden did, right? And even deported more than Donald Trump did during his 4 years. So kudos to Steve Sweeney for sort of putting that out there, because it seems like that kind of goes under the radar when it comes to deportations, right? And this is the thing that, at least for me, folks, and I'm the only journalist in New Jersey that's really talking about this. I mean, as well as, we know the usual suspects, whether it's NJ Spotlight News with David Cruz, whether it's Insider NJ with Max Pizarro and Jay Lassiter and Alan Steinberg, whether it is, Charles Style with, the Bergen Record and NorthJersey.com. I mean, you name it, folks. I mean, there's no shortage of journalists in New Jersey that love to coddle illegals in the narrative, but here's the truth. And Steve Sweeney said it perfectly. Yes, could there be a more humane way to deport illegals in this country? Certainly, yes. I think we saw it done more discreetly with Joe Biden in the last 4 years. Certainly, we saw it a lot more discreetly under the 8 years of Barack Obama. Again, he deported more than 3 million illegals. And it seems like the Democrat base in New Jersey, whether it's progressives, whether it's moderates, whether it's leftists, all seem to sort of either have selective amnesia when it comes to Barack Obama, but seem to be, have this performative outrage when it comes to Donald Trump. We're going to find out because even in the last 2 years of Joe Biden's presidency, he deported more illegals than the 4 years of Donald Trump from 2017 to 2021. So very interesting talking points about what's going on with deportations and how to go about these ICE raids. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Another interesting topic tonight was sort of losing press in New Jersey. Obviously, we know over the weekend, we saw, and again, my heart goes out to the marketing people, to people in the printing press, to people in the subscription department, to people that work in the buildings themselves. And it pains me. It pains me to see institutions like the Star-Ledger and the Jersey Journal close. Obviously, I'm not sad to see Tom Moran unemployed. He's a clown. I'm not sad to see Ronald Zentliger unemployed. He's a clown too. And more on them tomorrow night, folks, during Final Thoughts. So you definitely want to check out Final Thoughts tomorrow during Real Talk with a start time of 6 p.m. Again, we'll be talking to NJCU interim president Andres Acebo. And of course, during Final Thoughts, I'll talk about really the demise of the Jersey Journal and the Star-Ledger. But again, all the candidates on stage tonight did express, sort of a very eulogy type theme when it came to talking about the free press in New Jersey. There's no question. Losing institutions like the Star-Ledger and the Jersey Journal do hurt. Obviously, rolling back restrictions on Oprah and is a big priority, obviously, for all 6 candidates. We saw that. I'm just sort of looking at my notes here. Also talking about New Jersey Transit. Folks, I got to tell you, New Jersey Transit is an absolute mess, whether it's delays or trains not coming on time. Again, I'm very fortunate where I live in Hudson County. I have a plethora of options when it comes to mass transit, whether it's a light rail system that still works pretty efficiently, whether it's New Jersey Transit buses that run up and down sort of the major boulevards, whether it's JFK Boulevard East, whether it's JFK Boulevard, whether it is up and down Bergen Line Avenue, whether it's up and down New York Avenue. So we do see that New Jersey Transit works, but not for everybody. And I think that's what the candidates really want to hammer home tonight, that New Jersey Transit isn't working for every New Jerseyan. So I think they were obviously all very sort of committed to making sure that we get more efficiency. Because, folks, let's be honest, if you live in Burlington County, you live in Atlantic County, you live in Mercer County, accessibility to a light rail, accessibility to trains and buses isn't really as, in abundance as it is for me in Hudson County. I look at New York City every morning. That's not the case for everybody in New Jersey. And even when you go all the way down Southwest Jersey into the cesspool of America, which is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Yes, many New Jerseyans don't have access to good transit. So New Jersey Transit certainly, I think, is high on the priority list for all 6 candidates. And we'll see, obviously, in the future debates how they sort of address this. Obviously, the issue about transgendered athletes and how the transgender community is being treated in New Jersey. I mean, again, I think, they're Democrats. They're going to pander to their demographic. They're going to pander to their crowd. Obviously, we all know how progressives and the left feels about transgendered people. You know how I feel about transgendered people, folks. I mean, let's be honest. I'm one of those people that doesn't believe in this. I mean, these are adults, who are playing make believe. It's as simple as that. Now, again, you want to demonize me, that's fine, but that's how I look at things, and I think that's how a lot of regular New Jerseyans look at the issue as well. It's not about being a conservative. Yes, I'm conservative. But folks, I can tell you, once again, the reason Donald Trump got reelected last November and the reason that different demographics, Hispanics, Middle Eastern, Asian, single women, college-educated women, single dads, single moms, the Black community, many middle working class white people saw what was going on with identity politics. Folks, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If Democrats want to keep going on this crusade about all the woke bullshit and all this identity nonsense, you're going to keep taking L's on election day. It's that simple. But again, we'll see how this translates during the campaign season. But again, all of them were very steadfast in defending the transgender community. That's fine. They're entitled to do that. I wouldn't, but that's how they feel. Obviously, pledges for clean water. And folks, I got to tell you, the closing statements are very, very interesting. And this is one of the things I think that really had everyone stand out here. We had Steve Sweeney certainly reminding everyone that he's been a fighter since day one. He's been an iron worker. He's dealt with difficult circumstances in his family, obviously raising a child with special needs. He's worked in county government. He's worked in state government. So Steve Sweeney, I got to tell you, came out swinging with his experience. And Steve Sweeney also came out with an incredible sort of combination of a way of being civil with his opponents, but at the same time, making sure that his points came across very convincingly. So I got to tell you, I think really Steve Sweeney did that well. I got to tell you about, Sean Spiller. Sean Spiller pushed a fairer for New Jersey mantra when it came to the sort of plan that he's all about, really. I think also we looked at Ross Perot. And now again, Ross Perot was very emphatic about resisting Trump, which I think that was sort of a common theme tonight when it came to how to approach the 47th president. Now again, we're going to find out in the next few weeks with the next primary debates that are coming up. Obviously, they'll be hosted in different time periods during the spring. But certainly Sean Spiller, as the president of one of the most powerful unions in the state, certainly was pushing a fairer New Jersey message. Obviously, he's the mayor of he was the mayor of Montclair, New Jersey. So certainly, I think when you talk about an executive experience, he has that at the municipal level. Certainly, being the former mayor of Montclair, certainly Mayor Ross Perot in Newark, certainly being the mayor of the state's largest city. I got to tell you, he came across very strongly. Again, very much denouncing Donald Trump, very much trying to resist Donald Trump. I don't know if that's a good strategy for Democrats in 2025, but we'll find out. Mayor Fulop, again, another mayor in this race, a guy with considerable executive experience at the municipal level, talked about his platform being more detailed than any of the other candidates on stage. He may have a point there. Certainly, he was the first one to declare in this race. He was the first one to also have a very thorough website. Not to say that the others don't. I mean, obviously, are all sort of pushing up policy prescriptions, okay, on their websites. But it's going to be very, very interesting, I think, about how Stephen Fulop, again, first guy in the race, has raised a lot of money. We're going to see exactly how he resonates to voters, because he seems to be really the main one here, pushing an anti-establishment narrative. Whether or not that works, I don't know, but we'll find out, obviously, when polling comes out later this evening after the debate here at Rider University. Certainly, Representative Josh Steinheimer talked about a tax cut plan that defines him, a tax cut plan that he will look to implement if he's elected later on this year, if he wins the primary and wins in November subsequently. Certainly, he's a guy with considerable experience as a member of the House of Representatives, and certainly a guy, one of the leading and members of the House. Certainly, and when obviously, as you saw, I'll be publishing these videos on the Real Talk page on Facebook, obviously also on Instagram and also on my Twitter account. But what's interesting is he was very adamant about how to take on Governor Hochul in New York about congestion pricing. Folks, we all know that these extra $9 are suffocating New Jerseyans and also New Yorkers as well that maybe travel into New Jersey for their employment. They have to go back into New York City via the Georgia WB or both tunnels, the Lincoln and the Holland collectively. So very interesting in the sense of how he looked at it when it came to his tax cut plan. And last, Representative Sherrill talked about leading in affordability. I got to tell you, the representative in Essex County obviously has a big following. Certainly, a lot of establishment Democrats in New Jersey are jumping on the Sherrill train, no question. We'll see how that translates right now into polling. I know she's been leading in some polls that have come out recently. We'll see tonight. Obviously, we haven't seen the numbers yet, but I'm sure David Wallstein and the great staff at the New Jersey Globe are going to do a great job here in putting that information out. All in all, folks, here, sat here from 7 o'clock to 8:45. Brief break in there. Got to say, all the moderators did a stand-up job. Good questions. You could tell they were very prepared. You could tell that they came with it. They brought it tonight. I think the candidates also brought it tonight. We'll see, folks. I'll be here Tuesday night at Rider University for the Republican debate between former State Senator Ed Durr, former Assemblyman Jack Ciarelli, and two-time gubernatorial candidate, along with current State Senator John Bramnick and former New Jersey 101.5 FM radio personality Bill Spadia. So it's going to be very, very interesting how these candidates on Tuesday react to some of the questions here, obviously during this gubernatorial primary. But folks, I got to tell you again, just to wrap this up here, looking at the clock here, it's about 10 o'clock on the East Coast. We appreciate you tuning in here on a Sunday night. Obviously, there's a lot of other things you could be doing on a Sunday night, watching the Grammys, and who knows what other woke bullshit they'll be pushing at the Grammys, for God's sakes. But in any event, we appreciate you spending a little bit of your Sunday night here with Jersey First TV. Once again, this analysis will be up and running. You can share it after we go off the air live here at the campus of Rider University. Beautiful campus, by the way. Look forward to coming back on Tuesday. Definitely see if I can grab a snack here at this hour. A little hungry. But to everyone tuning in tonight, hope you like the analysis. I'll be doing the same thing on Tuesday night here after the Republican debate. As you can see, asking some questions during the scrum. Listen, folks, you gotta be assertive. You gotta jump in there and just ask questions. You don't wait for permission. You just go and take it. So I hope you enjoyed my questions. I hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation of the debate wrap-up here as Real Talk is on the road at Rider University. And once again, as I said before, we appreciate you dedicating a little bit of your Sunday night here to Jersey First TV. Once again, folks, like, comment, and share. Coming to you live here from Rider University. Once again, I want to thank the New Jersey Globe, Rider University, and New Jersey ONN for hosting tonight's debate, for their hospitality, for giving me access here tonight on campus, certainly here in the auditorium and also here on stage. Appreciate having the exclusive time here to come to you live tonight here on this Sunday evening. Folks, happy February. Once again, make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I will have NJCU Interim President Andres Acebo. We'll be talking about higher education in New Jersey today. Obviously, all the strides he's made as the interim president of one of New Jersey's largest urban universities, not just in North Jersey, but all throughout the state. And we'll be talking a little bit about really, the demise of the Jersey Journal, who I know has not been very fair at all to Andres Acebo. And again, I've been very adamant how happy I am to see Ron Zettliger unemployed. And I'm also very, very adamant about seeing Tom Moran unemployed. So I'm looking forward to sharing my final thoughts with you tomorrow night. Folks, you definitely want to tune in for that, because it's going to be fun. It's going to be a little chippy. It's going to be a little feisty tomorrow night, folks. I have a lot to say about two people that I cannot stand, and that's Tom Moran, and that's Ron Zettliger. So, folks, once again, coming to you live here from Rider University. This is Real Talk on the road here during the 2025 gubernatorial primary debate here for the Democrat Party. Once again, I want to thank the New Jersey Globe, Rider University, and NJONN for hosting tonight's debate. I'll be coming to you once again live Tuesday night here, and we'll be hopefully asking some questions during the media scrum of the Republican candidates. I'll have my analysis as well. So, folks, take care there. Again, once again, thanks for stopping by. Stay classy as always. And once again, we appreciate your faith in Jersey First TV. Again, the leader in New Jersey media here. Really an independent media on a statewide level, folks. Nobody does it better than Jersey First TV. And, of course, nobody does it better than the generational talent, Fernando Uribe, here, live from Rider University. Folks, have a great rest of your night. If you're just tuning in live, again, like, comment, and share. Appreciate your support here on the Jersey First Television Network. Folks, have a great night, and we'll see you Tuesday for the Republican primary debate here on the campus of Rider University.